Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to episode number 23 of Playing with House Money on the Toilets to Titles Network. I am Iceman at Iceman_1013, and this is my co-host DJ Pru at PruBaby10. How are you doing today, my guy?
Doing great, man. Happy to be here. How you doing?
Yeah, work is stressful, so I'm grateful for the fact that gambling can take my mind away from it, and just sport in general, right? Like that's, I think, a big thing about sport is that you can kind of take yourself away from the real world problems that we might have, and just get annoyed at your sports teams instead.
Right. Yeah. Nothing like a degenerative vice to just consume yourself in. So I definitely feel you on that. It's obviously November now, so it's definitely getting to that nitty gritty in a lot of people's jobs. So I'm sure a lot of people really feel us on that. But yeah, luckily we got some fun stuff to talk about instead of the horrors of work.
Yeah, that can be a different podcast.
I need longer than that. I might have to write a couple books. We at least we can say we gave the people some value last week. It's about what matters.
We did. NFL Sunday picks off from the show both went 2 out of 3.
Yes, sir.
So getting closer again. Like we're on the cusp of that, of the sweep, the sweep across the board. Like, and also, if you listen to the show, you kind of told me that I shouldn't have gone for the over in the Miami Kansas City game, which was it was either going to go either way, right? It was either going to be a shootout, or again, when you mentioned, I mentioned it before, the whole going to Europe thing and that throwing teams off. So,
and when you did, and for the people, I was not just I wasn't just right last week. When you did mention that, I was skeptical, and then I got proven wrong on that. And it is unfortunate that I know that we wanted the over anyway, but I bet SGP's hoping for a shootout as well. So it was kind of a double whammy. I probably should have trusted my gut, but 2 out of 3 is great. Everybody wants to sweep in the parlay, but you straight bet those, man. You'll take 67% every time.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Thursday night football, same thing, right? We were right on a decent number of stuff. Like we're all over D-Hop and Deontay Johnson, like receptions and stuff. And then, Mr. George Pickens, kind of 2 receptions for -1 yard, kind of. Dude. Basically screwed every slip I saw on Twitter on last Thursday night. Had Pickens either the receptions or the receiving line over, and
that, and it's weird because he does disappear like that. But we did say, what did we say? He'll get 2 40-yard catches, or so we expect that with him. I feel like, especially with a guy like him, where his speed isn't gonna get him open, his routes aren't gonna really just get him open. It's more so just his amazing catching ability and whatnot. But Deontay Johnson, that's going to be a given every week, only because he's the stem route runner. He obviously has a good route tree, but and even with D-Hop, the line that they had him at hit, but he had a great first 2.5 quarters and then disappeared as well. So we had some bad beats, but when the stuff that we were messing with, the lines and everything that was given out on the show, we were pretty spot on. Chigo, matter of fact, last drive. So we'll take it.
Literally, that was he was on a milk carton for the whole game until the last 75 seconds.
And you know why it was? Because I picked him up and played him in fantasy in Frankenstein. That's exactly why that happened. So sorry.
But he got his 3 receptions, his 30 yards or whatever it was on those 3 catches, and I posted and said it wasn't sweaty at all. Basically, it was dead and buried. I was like, I'm not even. And then he got the 1, and I was like, great. You're just going to make this worse because he's now going to get 2, and then I'm going to miss by. And then he got the 3rd.
I swear I thought he was finishing at 2. I thought for sure. Levis didn't look at him once all game. And I don't even want to tell you, I don't know if you saw the game like fully. He missed him on about 4 great yard gainers. It was pretty sad. But besides the winners, just giving out on the show, we had a few. It was anybody that watched and bet on football last Sunday, it was an anomaly. It was an ugly day for a lot of people. Not Kate Otten, Cole Kmet, Irv Smith Jr. Like we had guys, you had backup tight ends scoring, and that's not going to happen every week. That's kind of the beauty of it. But you are going to have those weeks where coaches get really kind of sneaky and against their opponent and throw something at them that they're not expecting. But we had a nice soccer turnout on a lot of straight bets. Those really helped us in Liga MX. Definitely shout out Brandon on that one. But then other than that, man, it was really, we had to really fight and claw for a lot of small stuff. Luckily I had 2 plus 250 straight bets hit, a plus 125, a plus 400. It was really small. It was a battle. It was one of those where, it's the long game. You're not always going to hit the parlay, even if the parlay is only, plus 1200 or something like that. You want to be able to have your straight bets to at least break even. Luckily I did end up profitable, but it is, it's a long game. And I know some people that are following us, they don't gamble like that because, sometimes you just don't have the funds. And I'm not blaming anybody. I completely understand especially when you're betting 3 or 4 tickets already that we posted and then it's 3 or 4 straight bets. It kind of looks like overkill, but there's rhyme to there's rhyme to the reason. And luckily we came out on top. I am excited for this week though. There's some pretty good stuff to bet on.
Yeah, for sure. And I think one thing to add to that is like you kind of the in plays. I know I do a lot of it on soccer, and if you're actually watching the game or you're following along with the game cast of or whatever it is,
which is what I do.
By
the way,
you can kind of see sometimes, and certainly to the point of the Titans game with that Chigo stuff. He targeted him 3 times in a row. You can watch the games and you see on certain drives, and I know I've texted you during games and gone, well, 2-3 catches out, like 2 or 3 targets on the first 2 or 3 plays of a drive, and I'm like, well, this is, if they get to the red zone, this is a touchdown for this guy because
knowing the flow of the game, following the flow of the game is going to be a big thing. Is like I had a person in the Discord, actually, they did one of the promos at one of the apps, like they were new on one of the apps. So they had to do a certain bet amount to get their, the max amount of free bets. So, and he's a guy that does not bet heavily. I mean, if he puts $5 on a play, it's a big bet for him. So he's freaking out. And it's just like, I gave him a prop. I said, dude, it all relies on the game flow. You can't predict it. It's going to be, where the ball lands, where it bounces, you're just going to kind of hope it bounces in your court. But those are the type of things where when you're already watching the game and you see like, he's having a hard time, like Levis was having a hard time getting D-Hop the ball. And he kept forcing it to him, but he also kind of eased up a little bit and, took his yards where he could get them. So that's one of those things where you can jump on FanDuel, especially now with the in-game parlays. And really get some value, because you have a lot of guys that only need 1 catch, 2 yards. Like the other day, one of my buddies sent me a parlay 5 legs. All 5 of them needed 1 more yard, and I was like, that's crazy. It was plus 4,000. So there's a lot of value if you are keeping up with the game, or soccer. Me and you do that a lot with soccer because of the basis of how it is. But you get a lot of value on that stuff. I don't like to throw a lot of it out because I know when it doesn't hit, it's like, we didn't really even have to do that. But I try to be as responsible as possible and making the best choices on that.
But I think it's all the money management side. Like you said, if you have a certain amount of funds, like you kind of allocate X amount towards straight bets, which should be the bigger portion of your funds. And then you have a couple of, a small percentage on, the parlays, the lottos, the big ticket stuff, because you hate missing out on those. You've always got to throw $1 on that just in case it hits. And then, there should be some allocated for those live bets, just in case your bets are kind of going completely south. You're like, okay, well, let's switch up. And I know you kind of try and play that beforehand. You'll post like 2 tickets and say, this is how I think it's going to go. And then ticket number 3 is just in case I'm totally wrong.
And that, I like that you use that example because that's the one that hit for me. I don't remember the game. I don't even remember the exact game. I always have a just in case play. Because you think you got it all figured out. You think you're the smartest person in the room, and I am definitely one of those people. So I like to make a play of how I think the game is going to go, how the flow of the game, and where guys will have plus matchups and whatnot. And then sometimes you see games and you're just like, dude, this is crazy. Like I couldn't have predicted this at all. And then luckily, that's when the in case play. Oh, Baker Mayfield last week. It was the Tampa Bay play. Baker's last drive. And that was literally a play I did not think would have a chance. I'm not gonna lie to you. And then ended up catching. I think it was like plus 2,200. So that was good. I do that, but with people with the straight bets, you should be, if you're new to gambling and you're like really, really like nervous about large amounts of money or like larger bets, I would personally tell you stick to straight bets, two leg parlays at the very most, just to it's gonna hurt. If losing that $5-10 is gonna hurt real bad, go and make the $8 on a minus 110. Like go get the 18 back, keep it going, stuff like that. You should never get into gambling trying to just do the parlays. So when you're bankroll management, you're allocating that. Definitely, it should be a very small portion for the lottos.
Yeah, and talking about that, like anyone that is new to us or to gambling in general, and as we continue to see, like more states are legalizing it. There's prize picks, underdogs available in most places now. Playing with house money is there. We have the Discord, which is free to get in the month of November. If you sign up through the Twitter at PW_house money, use code November, you can get in for free. We'll teach you all about that kind of stuff. If you're more interested in just the football side, jump into the Toilets to Titles Gilded channel. Pru's been, I know there's a couple of guys in there that are kind of very green to gambling and want to get in, and they've got the kind of the underdog stuff, the sleeper app that has those types of plays on it now, and you've been kind of trying to guide a couple of those people through the what they should be looking for, and we've had a couple of conversations in there for those people that are brand new to it. Absolutely, like jump in, ask us questions. We're always happy to help direct you in those kind of ways. And you get more than that in the Gilded channel. You get access to all the Toilets to Titles team and everything like that. So, that's, free to get in. So it's kind of a no-brainer to just jump in there and, just get that, all the access to the, like I said, the Toilets to Titles team at toiletstotitles.com. And hey, if you're watching this on YouTube, comment, like, subscribe, listen to everything that all of the rest of the team have got, and just shout us out, and we'll answer the questions for you as best we can throughout the week and over the weekend when there is a ton of stuff to bet on. And we're going to go through it now, and you're trying to pick through all of that stuff. Like that's what we're here for, to try and find you the value, try and find you where the edges are, and hey, like what we think is the potential best games to look for with the SGPs, and where there are solid matchups, and so you don't have to go through the entire slate and feel like you have to pick something from every single game.
Right, exactly. And shout out to the guy. I can't remember his exact first name. I know his username. I won't say that, but shout out to him. He, Prize Picks is legal in California. He hit his very first bet of all time. And I got the shout out on that, and it was that felt good. I ain't gonna lie. I was pretty excited that he got his first one, and then that the play that I mentioned about my buddy that doesn't wager heavily, it was plus money. We had $50 on a plus money, one straight, and it didn't have to be a minus 250, minus 400, stuff like that. There's value that we'll find for you. So definitely get in there.
Yeah, there's absolutely value in some of these straight bets that you're just about to talk about now. A plus money legs, and I know that's kind of what we always look for. Those plus money legs, but you don't have to play. But some of these, I know there's one that I've got up my sleeve for later. Like you can play them as straights, and you should play them as straights. And then I know we always talk about the parlays because hey, like that's what the people want to hear. You see on, that's what gets all the retweets and the likes on Twitter is you seeing,
sometimes I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, go on. What have we got for this week's college football?
Yeah. So tonight, Louisville and Virginia play. Obviously Louisville's a very heavy favorite, as they should be. They play very fast. I know they came up short on me a couple weeks ago, but hey, you gotta have a very, very quick memory, or a very bad memory, I guess would be I can't remember the exact term, but you gotta be very good with these teams to just not get set on like, okay, they screwed me this week, I ain't playing them no more. And then you look at them and they're dog walking teams. So with Louisville, Virginia is just, they're going down pretty bad. Like they were bad the last few years, and now it's just kind of turning into a dumpster fire for them because they just don't have structure, or the players in the transfer pool getting, coming there anymore and stuff. So they need a real a culture change. So what do we like to do with teams like that the most is exploit them for valuable gambling purposes. So they're giving Louisville touchdown line 4.5 at plus 100. Now, obviously 5 touchdowns is a lot in a football game, but not in college football matchups like this. So
not when they're, like you say, not when the spread's 21, and exactly. So you're already expecting them to score 3 more touchdowns to cover the spread. Is a minimum of 3 touchdowns. So right. 4 touchdowns to cover the spread if Virginia score a handful of points.
Yeah, so and they will. They'll score probably 2 touchdowns. I won't. I don't expect them to not score. It's just the game flow of colleges. You get so many more drives. And that's what I really like about the touchdown totals and the team totals, because you get so many more drives when teams are in that hurry up offense, or they're scoring. They're getting big chunk plays and scoring early. Some games don't go that way. When you have 2 either very good matchups or you have 2 not great offenses and pretty good defenses. So we've had that happen every once in a while too. But with plus 100, dude, I couldn't pass that up, and that's really the only prop I'm looking at for the game tonight. It's very, I had a situation earlier in the week where betting on children came to bite me in the ass. So I'm back to doing what I know. And yeah, that plus 100, I'm more than likely going to hammer that as a straight. But I probably throw it, I'll probably throw like a small little SGP that's, plus 250 or something like that. I'll post that.
And we had one of those in the Discord this week as well.
Yeah.
Where, and we've seen it multiple times, and I don't want to put the hex on you already for what you're going to play tonight, but the straight will cash, and one of these dumb bets that you include in the SGP will not. And this is where you need to take, and you've said it to me a couple of times when I've just said to you, no, just don't do it. And you're like, yeah, okay, I needed you to tell me not to do it because I would have done it. Yeah. And we all do it, right? We all do it. It's that the devil on the shoulder that says, just one more leg. And John in the Discord did that yesterday with the Champions League. Brandon put out a play, first goal scorers, and then he's in there going, oh,
yes.
Well, I was just waiting on one more person, and it's like, well, we weren't waiting on the one more person because we had the plus 1,600.
I was gonna say he gave you a plus. Come on,
the value extra people because you might only be putting $1, $2, $3 on the bet. You don't want to take a $32 win, and it's like sometimes you have to take, like we said, a two leg parlay that cashes regardless of the price is better than a 3-leg parlay that misses every day of the week.
You get $30, you can have 0.
Yeah.
So it is the greed, and then sometimes you convince yourself that things are going to happen or things can happen and stuff like that. And it's like, you can put together any play, and it could happen. But if you do that all the time, I mean, you're going to put yourself in a lot of positions where you think you're getting, bad beats, but really it was just, you just overplayed your hand. So that's really going to be the main reason. That plus 100, it's just one of those things where I think I can really take advantage of a quick double up, and I don't really want to mess that up too much. So I'll run the straight, and then maybe I'll dabble with an SGP. But then we have a big matchup this Saturday. This will quite literally determine Michigan's fate until they at least have to run into Ohio State. It's Michigan, Penn State, and Penn State's been good. They've been very good. They've just been a little shaky on offense, but their defense is very sound. But I don't care about that because DraftKings has Michigan's touchdown line at 2.5. That is, it's minus 165. Don't get me wrong, but dude, Michigan has greened 3.5 for me 4 times this year in the first half. That offense is not. That's not just one of those offenses that you're just like, oh yeah, they're just going to shut them down. I don't even care if Penn State's defense plays well. They're scoring. They're going to score at least 2, like very early on. Like I'll even give it to like middle of the third. They'll score at least 2. So 2.5 touchdowns. Me personally, I think that's a cakewalk. Minus 165. So obviously that's 3 touchdowns. The books have Michigan over 26.5 at plus 100 as well. 27 points out of this Michigan team has not been hard to ask for. Penn State has also had a few games where it's like, they give up points. They won the game, but they gave up plenty of points, and those teams weren't Michigan. So what my brain tells me is Michigan can do this. They gave up 24 points to Indiana. Penn State gave up 24 points to the University of Indiana. Yeah. So if I don't think Michigan can get 3 more points than Indiana, I'm crazy. I'm going to hammer that. That's going to be the one where I'm like, I'm going to have to tell myself to cool out because I had to do a double take, to be honest with you. So that's one. And then a game that should have some sneaky value once like everything's settle and finalized for the books. I know what we're looking at today is going to change by Saturday morning, but Arizona and Colorado. Now, Arizona, they gave USC trouble, like real trouble. I thought they were going to pull off the upset, to be honest with you. But when I was watching the game, their defense has some places to exploit. Obviously, college football, they run a lot of zone. So anytime you're going to see a lot of zone, you're going to have gaps. It's going to be whether or not Shador can stay on his feet. I feel terrible for that kid watching those games. He's just getting battered back there. It's like he's a Bears quarterback. But I think he still scores the ball. Like I think that's the one thing is like when they get into those games where they are getting mopped up, he at least can pull together some late drives and get some fire going. Their line is at 2.5 touchdowns at minus 115. I know it is a little risky, but it's Arizona at the same time. Like, yeah. So I like that. But I am also going to look at the over because they have Arizona's team lines pretty high, like pretty like low value. So I was kind of iffy about those, but I do know that Colorado's defense can't stop a parked car. So that over is definitely going to get looked at. So yeah, those are the 3. I'm keeping it really light on college football this week. Tuesday really irritated me. So yeah, those are the 3. That Michigan Penn State's going to be a fun one to watch too. So
sounds good, bro. Looking forward to that. And there's plenty of other sport going on Saturday, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Check out the Twitter for some SGC bets for Saturday morning.
The absolute best day. The absolute best day to follow what Ice is saying right now. Like I had a few guys that joined recently and they weren't sure, they weren't familiar with your game, and I had to fill them in. And then they followed you. They tailed you all week. But Saturday Saturday's a must. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. Saturday is a must, and then you'll still get stuff throughout the week as well. He's definitely check out the SGC.
But yeah, tonight. Yeah. It's funny, right? I don't know if you, but Carolina, Chicago. Ka-ching.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just going to be Lightning McQueen for the day.
No, I'm gonna. Lightning McQueen is one of my favorite characters of all time.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, my daughter absolutely loves him as well. So I didn't even have to try. Like, she stumbled upon it on her own, and I'm like, this is great because I will watch Cars as often as she wants to.
Yeah,
but,
hell yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, we have a massive revenge game. I mean,
is it a revenge game if you wanted to get the hell out of there? You know?
Yeah, I mean, they drafted him. He was there for his that was the first and only team he played for, right? Chicago is his second team.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're talking about DJ.
Like, he'll want to
DJ
he'll
Moore,
want to look good. Oh yeah, we know.
Yeah. I know who you know who we're talking about. I'm just, for everyone else that should already know, but yeah, DJ Moore, his revenge game. It's also Donta Foreman. He played last season in Carolina.
Yeah.
So it's a mini revenge. He played
pretty well for them too. I was surprised they didn't sign him. To something short. Like, I think for him, this is a real revenge game, to be honest with you. He had a few games last year where it was like 100 plus yards, 3 touchdowns, and it was like, how do you not sign this guy to at least a couple years? A year, 2, 3, something. But so I think he has a chip on his shoulder more than DJ will, but I think DJ will have an emotional game more than it being a revenge factor. But at the same time, the Bears need this game, dude. The Bears have to win this game to drop Carolina closer to that number 1 pick. And we still don't know about Fields. It's been so back and forth all week. It's been, Sunday it was like, yeah, he's primed to play. Monday it's day to day. We're kind of, we're going to play it by ear. They still have him as doubtful. He's not even questionable right now. He's doubtful still. So it does have me a little nervous, but if he plays, I think even if Bagent plays, honestly, it should be they should have a decent chance, but they need this game.
Bagent's not been terrible. Like, he's not been great, obviously, but he's still, like, last 2 games, he's thrown for 220 plus yards. So I know you've got like 2 interceptions, 3 interceptions. Like, he's throwing the picks.
He had 3 interceptions and a fumble last game.
Yeah.
I believe it was 2 picks the game before. Everybody keeps talking about his quick decision making and the way he, doesn't take sacks and whatnot. And it's like, does it matter if he's just giving the defense the ball multiple times a game? Probably not. I've made the joke, a couple times about his arm, the velocity of the throws, and you really saw that last week with the last 2 picks were just noodle arm. Like, that was a duck. And it's like, dude, you're in the league. I like the confidence. I like that he has moxie to him, but like, kid, you got to reel it in. You got to reel it in a little bit. I really do want to see Fields out there just so everybody can see him versus Bryce. But yeah, tonight's going to be a little weird, but we do have some value, on some of these lines as well. So I did like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we can't, I know you don't want to talk about it. You don't want to label it as a revenge game, but I have to talk about it.
Yeah, we can.
I mean, at the time I put this together, FanDuel, when I was going through it, didn't have the lines. FanDuel have got their lines out now, and they're worse than DraftKings. DraftKings lines are actually, they might have changed. They've only just changed. Like, FanDuel have DJ Moore's receiving line at 56.5. DK have it at 52.5.
Yeah.
At minus 110. So it's even better than I had 51.5 at minus 120. So, I mean, even with Bagent, I like that. For DJ Moore, it's 1-2 catches.
Well, yeah, it's DJ Moore.
Yeah. The touchdowns for DJ Moore is plus 175 on FanDuel. And Donta Foreman's plus 140 on DraftKings. But it's just huge value, to be perfectly honest, because the difference, FanDuel have him at less than plus, he's minus 120 on
Yeah, I was going to
FanDuel.
say, yeah, he probably is.
And yeah, that's just he's plus 150 on DK. So I think that's kind of that. I think, given like you say, the chip on his shoulder, he's going to, and what, he's just coming off the back of a 20 carry game or something silly.
Yeah, that's another thing is DraftKings gave me his rushing attempts at 10.5 last week. I thought it was the craziest thing of all time. Yeah, he'll see 20 carries. He's earned every one of them at this point, and that run game has been moving.
So yeah, I mean his and like you say, I probably prefer therefore the touchdown from him at plus 150 on DraftKings, plus 445 for both of them, which is a stretch, but it's kind of the double revenge narrative, which I feel like I have to run.
Yeah, the Bears scoring 2 touchdowns in one game. Whew. Let's see it.
Come on, yeah,
let's see it. I gotta be tough. I gotta be tough on him. It's fine, but I do love both of those for sure.
But then, obviously, like we've said, the just in case the Carolina Panthers come out and go, we will let anyone catch the ball apart from DJ Moore. We saw that with the Devontae Adams going back to Green Bay game. And I said exactly the same thing in the Gilded chat. Like, this game, like, it's a revenge game, but I don't see whether the Panthers, like you say, whether they will do the same thing. But hey, then someone like Cole Kmet coming off the back of a couple of real big games, and if it is Badgett and he's targeted him 18 times in 2 games because he doesn't want to throw it downfield, right. He's just dumping it off here and there. His yardage line is 34.5.
Yeah, he's been smashing that too. And that's, I was going to say, that's one thing that quarterback decision will hinder possibly. And don't get me wrong, Cole does get the ball when Fields plays. It's just usually either like a couple chunk plays or a touchdown and stuff like that. I like Cole in anything right now. He's balling, but Badgett would definitely help. That would Badgett starting would shoot the value to the moon. So yeah, I love those. And they don't have his reception lineup yet, but it's usually right around 3.5. I love that too.
And Mooney, Darnell Mooney at 29.5 on DraftKings. He's 27.5 on FanDuel. But yeah, again, if you're not looking to DJ Moore, like that's a potential. But I prefer the Kmet line. And then for the Panthers, old Chubba Hubbard.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna, like, again, same kind of thing for Bryce Young, right? Like, what wide receivers does Bryce really have to throw the ball to? He's got Adam Thielen.
Yeah, that's it.
And then
really?
So he had 4 catches on 6 targets against the Colts. He had 2 for 2 the week before. Since their bye, he's been targeted 8 times, 6 catches. I think he gets a decent amount of targets in this game.
Yeah.
And his reception line is at 2.5. So I put together, they're the 3 I really like: the Foreman touchdown, the Kmet receiving yards, and the Hubbard receptions. Those 3 combined on DraftKings plus 700.
That's really good.
So yeah, that'll probably be my SGP for tonight.
Yeah, I like it, especially because the Bears have a good run defense the last few weeks. So obviously, I do expect them to kind of do some dump offs and whatnot. So yeah, I like. So for me, I do like Cole Kmet tonight. I went with the receptions. I'm hoping that it's still at 3.5. If it's anything over 3.5, I might go back to the yardage. But I love that. And then Adam Thielen, I don't want to go. His line is at 68.5. And he'll probably, if he gets 7 catches, he will likely hit 68.5. But I just can't. Part of me just can't do it. It's like when Jamar Chase had 3 catches for 9 yards at half the other day, and it was, you knew he wasn't getting 70. So
last week, Thielen was 5 catches for 29 yards.
Exactly.
So it's that kind of game where you're like,
right. And they're playing a defense that obviously is, that's not very good, and they're passing. The pass defense has been their Achilles heel the last few weeks. So him over 6.5 receptions, and then I did the pairing with DJ Moore over 52.5 in the touchdown. It was plus 800 without the Komet receptions. So right around like 1,200, something like that. It'll be 16 maybe. I might get for the minus 110. So yeah, those are my for tonight.
And then what do you feel about Sunday? Where are you going?
I almost messed up and put the Germany game in it. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I did exactly the same thing. I was like, I put it in.
43.
I was like,
I saw 43. I'm like, oh, I saw 43 as the line. I'm like, oh, over. And then I saw it. I was like, 8:30. Never mind. My bad.
Yeah. No. Mm-hmm.
So, and also I do expect Gardner Minshew to have a great Saturday night out there, Friday, Saturday night. So I'm not going to risk it.
Cheers, Gardner.
So, I took Tennessee money line because I think their defense shows up, and I think Levis just continues to play just sound football. So we'll see how that goes. I do like that at minus 110. I was going to go with the spread, but it's at -1 right now. It's usually literally wasted. I don't even know why that even exists. So, and then Cleveland and Baltimore their total line is 38.5. Two very good defenses, but the way that Baltimore's been playing,
you're going back to that. Well, I'm pretty sure you said last week that the Seahawks were going to rock up and score you 10 points, and that was your sweep that cost you by the fact that the Ravens defense didn't allow them to score.
I was going to say, if you saw how Geno Smith was playing once they shut down that run game, it made a lot of sense why. But
so you're trusting Watson instead if he's back. Is he?
No, I'm honestly I'm expecting Baltimore to hang like 35 on that defense because everybody thinks it's just incredible. The way that they're playing is just unreal, and I'll go out on a limb and say that Cleveland can get me 6 points. Controversy, if that's a controversial statement apparently. So 38.5 just seemed really low. I will probably look at the Baltimore team total. But it's probably pretty similar in value. And then Detroit -3. They're playing a little too well for me to not expect them to win. The Chargers defense is not good. Everybody's been trying to say that it is, but they played the Bears and like two just terrible offenses. I'm drawing a blank on the last
New York. They played the Jets, didn't they?
The Jets. Yeah, you played the Bears and the Jets, and everybody's like, man, that team's good. It's like, dude, you're forgetting the Chargers give up 30 every week. So it's Detroit. I got Detroit -3, and then I got Washington +6 because they're playing really well, and I don't really think the Seahawks are gonna just be able to just hang a ton of points on them. I guess it does kind of hurt that they lost two of their best D linemen, so maybe I'll kind of mess with that a little bit. But Sam Howell's been playing really well. Their offense has been moving very well too. I like it to at least be close. So I like +6. That's at +1270 if you take all four. If you want to scrap the Washington play, it'd be around 800.
It was funny because I have the Tampa Bay team total in mind, which doesn't mean that
but the team total though, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
The
Baker's
team
been
total
playing well. His defense just failed the hell out of him. On Sunday. But I think what was the team total?
19.5.
Oh, I did. I skimmed right over that. I'm sorry. Yeah, 20.
So 20 points for the Bucks for that exact reason. Like they are, two touchdowns, 2 field goals, like 3 touchdowns. I think for that offense, he's playing well. Rashad White is having, from a fantasy perspective, an incredible run right now. So I think they can definitely score a couple. Same goes for the Minnesota Vikings. We talked about Josh Dobbs last week, touched on him briefly, and the guy came in after one drive and had an incredible kind of first game when he had 0. He was literally practicing on the sideline how to take a snap. Right? Like, did you see that?
Literally.
You saw the clips?
Literally. Had never took snaps with the starting center.
Yeah. So they were, so now you give the guy a week and you're going to give me the same line, 19.5 points for this Minnesota Vikings team. I don't care, even if Justin Jefferson is not back. You're giving me that against the New Orleans team that, no offense, just gave up 17 points to the Chicago Bears. And
Tyson Bagent. And you had 4 turnovers.
Yeah.
Like,
so yeah, I'm taking that line. And the Minnesota Vikings money line is my plus money play that I would play straight. Plus 124 for the Vikings in Minnesota against this New Orleans team that, if you keep Alvin Kamara quiet,
is nothing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. I've definitely.
So I had the money line in there to begin with, and then I was like, no, I'll play the money line straight and take the team total in the parlay. And then the other two are the Bengals. I feel like the Bengals, I picked the Bengals to go all the way to the Super Bowl, and then like at the start of the season in our kind of in the show, and then like the start that obviously they had was, I was like, great, this is looking horrible for me. We're starting to see the Bengals, like Joey Burrow has returned.
They're picking it up. I just wish they used Jamar Chase the right way. Bothers me.
And hopefully, I'm kind of hoping they do this week against, again, this Houston Texans team that have just given up however many points to Baker Mayfield and allowed him to throw the ball all over them. So 3.5 touchdowns for the Bengals.
Love that.
Is where I've gone there. And those 3 is plus 700. And I'll play them separately because they're all the 1 p.m. games, and you know that I don't like to spread it out across the day. But then I added the same bet, that over 3.5 touchdowns for the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas against the New York Giants with a plus 17 spread for the Giants with Tommy DeVito going to be starting quarterback. The Cowboys defense are probably going to score a touchdown on their own. Dak's going to throw CD Lamb at least 1, Ferguson 1, like that's 3. So
Dak's had 3 good games in a row. Just gonna say that. You know, this would be the time. This would be the time too, knowing him. This would be the time.
This would be the time to take the Giants money line at plus 900 and be like, oh, okay, yeah, that expects a lot. But no, so yeah, the 4 Minnesota and Tampa Bay 20 plus points each. Bengals and Cowboys 4 TDs each is plus 1950.
Yeah, I love that.
So yeah, I'll probably play. I'll play both the 3 and the 4, and then I'll play all of the props that we've just said as just a dollar lotto, because your 1950, my 1957, and your 1270 is going to be
a lot.
A lot. Is going to return $1,400 from 5.
Oh yeah.
So it's plus 2,800,000 plus 28,000. Yeah. So gets you $280 back from a single dollar. Yeah. If we play that. So yeah, and then I'll play just the 6, like my 3 favorite ones, and then I'll take the.
We'll take 2 out of mine. We'll run a 5. We'll run a 5.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, I like a lot of those. Yeah, and that's the thing. I might, having the 2 in the same game, having Tampa Bay go over 20 points and Tennessee money line in the same bet is kind of a little bit. Yeah. Because that will hopefully give us
that negative correlation or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But, no. All right, bro.
That's what we got for the people, man. Thank you for everybody that's tuning in. We appreciate you.
Yep. And again, thank you. Like you said, shoot any questions on Twitter at PW_housemoney, at PruBaby10, at Iceman_1013. Hit us up on Gilded, at Toilets to Titles. Let us know if you want to join the Discord. Like I said, it's free this month, code November. Get there. You'll get a lot more bets from us over the weekend. Some anytime touchdown scorers, I'm sure, will be out on Sunday. We've been hitting a couple of those recently. There's a bunch of NBA, NHL bets in the Discord as well. We've got some fresh new faces in there popping out some real fire stuff. You know, a lot of them doing a lot of good work in there. So let us know. Join the squad, and yeah, we'll catch you all next week playing with more house money.